Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Rosanna Tufts, and tonight I'm filming a little tutorial about how you can make your own toothpaste right at home. Now, why would you want to do this? Because when you make it yourself, you can avoid all of those xenoestrogens that you find in commercial toothpastes like sodium lauryl sulfate and fluoride that attack the thyroid. And who knows what all ingredients you can't even pronounce. This method contains all natural ingredients that will gently get all of the gunk off of your teeth and strengthen your gums. The formula consists of baking soda, frankincense and myrrh, yes, two of the things that the wise men gave to the baby Jesus, neem leaf powder, activated charcoal powder, bentonite clay, which you may be more familiar with as something to use as a facial mask, and MSM powder. You may be more familiar with this as something that's really good for healing your joints when you take it internally. Those are the solid ingredients. Then the liquid ingredients are coconut oil, olive oil, jojoba oil, peppermint oil, tea tree oil, red thyme oil, clove bud oil, cinnamon leaf oil, oregano oil, and all of these oils are not just for flavoring, they actually have health benefits as well. Propolis, which comes from beehives, it's a great antibacterial agent, and omega-7 oil from sea buckthorn. This you will probably only be able to get in gel capsule form, not as a liquid. You'll need to pierce the gel cap with a needle to squeeze the oil out. And the final ingredient is hydrogen peroxide for whitening your teeth, which does not go into the toothpaste itself. I'm going to show you at the end how you use this. You're going to mix everything into a baby food jar. You will also need a chopstick to mix everything together. And if your frankincense and myrrh are not already in a powdered form, a mortar and pestle to grind them up a little bit. And that's the first thing I'm going to do here, because the last time I went looking for frankincense and myrrh, I could only find them in the beaded form. So I'm just going to take a little bit here. Grind them up some. And you want to get them down to a not too terribly fine powder, but you don't want it to be a coarse powder either, sort of in the middle. Now I'm going to start layering in the ingredients. Baking soda is the base. You're going to use more of this than of anything else. You want to fill your baby food jar about a third of the way up. Now the other ingredients, I don't have exact measurements for them, but you don't need much of each. You'll have to use your instinct as to how much to put in. Just make sure you only fill your jar 2/3 of the way so that you have some room at the top to be able to mix everything. So now we're going to take that frankincense and myrrh that we just ground up, and it's going to go in there. And there's the frankincense and myrrh. Next up, we're going to add the neem leaf powder. These come in capsules, so all you have to do is take a couple of them, twist them, and open them up, and just dump the powder right in there. Two of these is all you need. Then we've got our activated charcoal. Same deal, they come in capsules. Just open them up. And in they go. Here again, a little bit goes a long way. 2 capsules should be all you need. Then we've got our Bentonite Clay. Throw in a little bit of that. And as you're switching off between powders, wipe off your measuring spoon before you move to the next one to avoid cross-contamination. Now we've got our MSM powder. Just 1 teaspoon of that should be enough. And there's all our dry ingredients. So mix all those together. Now we're going to start adding in the oils. Now some people say that baking soda is too abrasive on tooth enamel, but all of these oils smooth it out and make it gentler while still getting the job done. Just a little bit of each. That was the coconut oil. Now we're adding the olive oil, the jojoba oil, next we're going to go with the tea tree oil, just a few drops of that. Peppermint oil next. These oils are very aromatic. They're quite strong. You only need a few drops of each. This is the red thyme that's going in now. Now I've got the clove. Now the cinnamon leaf. Now be careful with this one because some people are allergic to cinnamon leaf oil. If that's you, it's okay, you can just leave it out. There we go. This is the oregano oil. And the propolis. Try that again. This is very goopy. It's a little hard to get it in there. Sort of scrape it off in the edge, and then you'll be able to get it in there with the chopstick once you get to the mixing stage. Now we're going to put in our omega-7 oil, and before you do this, you're going to want to sterilize your pin or needle by running it under hot water. And then you can pierce the gel capsule. And squeeze out the oil. Might have to do that a couple of times, pierce it a couple of times so that you can get all of the oil out. Hey, one of those should be all you need. You can add another if you want to. Of course, you'll have some stuck on your fingers as well when you do this. Just scrape them off on the edge of your jar. Get as much in there as you can. Now it's mixing time. Get the oils thoroughly blended with all of your powders. Now you're going to see this, depending upon how much oil you put in there, you're going to see this is quite thick and a bit on the dry side. So you're going to have to gauge, use your instinct to determine how dry or wet this should be so that it will be easy to use when it comes to actually brushing your teeth with it. Now this is pretty dry with everything mixed in here, so I am going to add a little bit more of the coconut oil. Soften this up a bit. Splash more olive oil. And some more jojoba. And mix it again. Now you can see what I mean about needing room at the top so that you've got room to mix everything. Now see, this is much better. This is a goopy consistency. It's a good thick paste, but it's not too dry and it's not too runny. And this may not look like much, but this lasts for several months for one person. Now, what do you do with that last remaining ingredient, the hydrogen peroxide? Well, one time I made the mistake of trying to add it to the total mix, only to find that it bubbled everything over out of the jar, and I had to throw the whole thing out and start over. Remember that science experiment gone wrong when you were in middle school? Well, that's what it looked like. So here's what you do. You're going to scoop a little bit of toothpaste out of the jar with your chopstick. Put it on the toothbrush. And then add 2 to 3 drops of hydrogen peroxide on top of that, just before you're about to brush your teeth. That way, you get the full action of it. Now, the most important thing to remember about hydrogen peroxide is you have to keep it in an opaque jar, because when it is exposed to light and it has finished its bubbling action, all that's left is plain water, and it's not going to do you any good after that. It's a volatile substance. It only works for 2 to 3 minutes, and then it's spent. I recommend infinityjars.com, where you can get dropper bottles that are darker and more opaque than the blue or amber bottles that you would normally find in the health food store. Preserve your hydrogen peroxide in an infinity jar dropper bottle. And that is how you make your own toothpaste. All of these ingredients that I've shown you here will last you for making several batches. If you like this tutorial, give it a try yourself and let me know how it works for you in the comments below. I'm Rosanna Tufts. Have a healthy day.